Today's the day. Today's the day I finally catch up on reviews. Man, I am 2 episodes behind on Horizons, and I'm a chapter behind on One Piece. But today, that's no more. I will be catching up today. All those reviews will be up today. I'll be on a strict schedule so that never, ever happens again. But we're here. Episode 20 of Pokemon Horizons came out a whole 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks late. But we're here. Finally, my long-awaited review. Everyone's here. Everyone's asking, Retro, what do you have to say about this episode? Where is your review? Well, I'm here today to give it. Episode 20 is titled Kabu's Battle Training. And the summary for this episode is, Liko and Roy have met Kabu, the gym leader of Engine Stadium. Honestly, I don't know what the name is in English. I don't know if it's the same name, and we're not even going to get into it. I don't care that much. And he's a native of the Hoenn region. Figuring out that this means he knows something about Rayquaza, the legendary Pokemon that likewise is from the Hoenn region, obviously. They try to ask him about it, but when they do, Kabu is so moved by their dedication that he decides to train them. Keep learning and training as long as you're alive. It's time for Kabu's fire training to begin. So, this episode continues where the last one left off. Roy wants to know, of course, because Kabu's from the Hoenn region, he asks him, you gotta know something about Rayquaza, right? So they have the idea to go ask him about it. Of course, we get in the beginning of the episode, we get into a little shenanigans. He's running around, exercising and stuff, so they have a hard time getting a hold of them, but they do eventually go to his gym and do get a hold of him. Now, when Roy asks the golden question, he says he has seen the Rayquaza. He has seen it. It was here not too long ago. I forget if that was beginning of the episode or the end of the episode, but point is, they do ask him eventually, and he says, he's actually has seen it. But he says that, he's basically implying that they're not strong enough. I mean, that's obvious, right? They're actually weak as hell. So they give him some little training. The training stuff is the big part of the episode. What I took away from this episode was that part. So my fault if I didn't remember what part of the episode Roy even asked him about Rayquaza. I actually forgot. I ain't gonna lie. But that's the big part of the episode. And what's the word? Contrary to popular belief, I think this episode is really about Liko, not really Roy. I mean, Roy is obviously, he's definitely a big part of this episode, but I think my main takeaway is I think this is kind of Liko's episode. The big thing about Liko in this episode is that she is a pushover, right? She is putting everybody else's feelings before hers, and she sits here and throws first of all, the training, right? The little training match they do, or the little training they do. I think that's pretty good I think that was pretty nice segment. At first, Liko was actually winning, and she actually did a few good little, she had a lot of, she developed a few variations of her leafage move, and I think that was pretty cool to see. She was winning at first, and then Roy starts catching up, of course, with this famous song, the famous chant. You know the chant, right? If you watch the show, you know the chant. So he started winning, and Liko ends up throwing the match, to let him have his moment. That was, I saw that, I was like, okay. So, and then the part of the episode everyone's been waiting for, their battle with Kabu and his, what's her name? We have the voice cast right here. We have a battle with Kabu and Wakaba. Actually, that's her name. Okay, so Wakaba and Kabu against Liko and Roy. So a really cool moment. It was a pretty cool battle. Not the best thing I've seen in the world. Not the greatest thing, but it's serviceable. It does the job. But there's one big thing about this battle is that Roy ends up learning Flamethrower, or what's his name? Fuecoco ends up learning Flamethrower. I thought that was a pretty cool moment, and we never have to hear Hinoko, Amber. We don't have to hear that shit anymore. So that's good. So he learns that. But like I said, the big takeaway in this battle, just like the last training match, is Liko is a pushover. She sits here and throws the match so Wakaba's because she thinks, she wants Wakaba to have her moment. She wants Wakaba to have the moment. So she ends up throwing the match, and then Wakaba gets all mad and stuff, obviously. Like, I don't want to win like this. So that's the big takeaway of this episode. Of course, I'm missing a few details. I'm not gonna lie, I am. But the big takeaway from this episode is Liko basically has to get her shit together, bro. She can't be doing stuff like that. She can't be putting everybody's feelings before hers all the time. She can't do this. Kabu actually points that out to her too after these respective battles happen. Even then, they went to Galar. The whole reason they went here is for Liko's grandmother, and we're already getting sidetracked. So that's another thing added on to this. That's why I think this is really a Liko episode, because her weakness is the spotlight. It's in the spotlight. And I'm pretty sure, I think this is going to be addressed in the next episode too. I've already kind of been spoiled. I haven't actually seen the episode just yet while I'm recording this. I have not seen this episode yet, the latest one, 21. But I think that's also a Liko episode, and you probably already seen it because I'm so late on that review. It came out a few days ago, so y'all probably all seen the episode by now. But yeah, I think that's going to be a Liko episode that's probably going to address the issues here as well. Her weakness here. But let's get back to this episode. Let's end this episode. Like I said, the big thing is Liko's weakness. I think that's my big takeaway from this episode. And I kind of, I'm not really like mad, or I don't think that's bad or anything. Like, because it was definitely like, obviously I was mad when she threw the match because what is she? Is she stupid? But that's the point. You're supposed to be mad at that. You're supposed to be like, what are you doing? That's the point. That's the purpose, right? So, I think this episode does a great job at character development. Identifying this, what most of Horizons is a good job at. Like I said, character development. I think this was a pretty okay episode. Now, if next episode was not a Liko episode, I'd probably not be as fond of it. But yeah, like I said, it's pretty okay episode, pretty good, nice training. It was nice seeing Kabu because he wasn't in Journeys. Yeah, it was a nice episode. These are a bunch of jumbled up thoughts, but I'm already late on this review, so I'm just gonna sit here and give my quick thoughts about it. But yeah, pretty good episode. Next episode looks to be better, and that review will be up soon. Today, it will be up later today. But yeah, that's all for me. See you on the next video today.